Hello. Welcome to the Glow Mastery podcast. My name is Shobi Sile, but you can call me Shobi. So Happy New Year! Oh my God, we are finally here. We are finally in 2024. And yeah, I'm so excited. Clearly the new year has come with amazing goals and different goals and all that, which is why I've started my podcast. I think I uploaded the last episode, I'm not too sure, but it was late December, because I've been very skeptical about the whole podcasting thing. But finally, I have gotten the guts to actually also do a visual version, because I was a bit contradicted if I should do the visual version or just keep it audio. But yeah, I was like, why not? Let me challenge myself. Let me actually get into everything, which is the visual as well as the audio. So this is literally going to be my first visual podcast video, if I may. So please be a little bit lenient and whatnot. I'm going to stop rambling. Let's get straight into today's topic. As we all know that when the year starts, we usually have our goals, and we usually have things that we would love to achieve. And I'm pretty sure 2024 is no exception, right? Yes. So with that being said, usually I would find myself struggling with staying on track with whatever it is that I have planned to do, which involves, the different goals that I would have, the different habits that I want to get myself into, and all that good stuff. So today's topic is definitely going to be how to get back on track with your 2024 goals after you have gotten into a productivity slump, or you've been feeling a little bit lazy. So don't mind me if I'm looking down. I'm making sure that I'm mentioning everything that I am going to be talking about. So I have my notes in front of me. So yeah. So another disclaimer that I also want to put out is the fact that I know sometimes when it comes to things like coming up with your habits and actually sticking to your goals and achieving your goals and all that stuff, it feels like your life is like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you're a project. Yes, sometimes it just feels like you are a project, and you constantly have to be working on yourself. You constantly have to be fixing yourself. And that can be very overwhelming, and that can be very exhausting. I, for myself personally, would definitely feel exhausted all the time. Why is it that I usually always have to do this? Like, is it a must? Like, why? Why milling Wednesday? Milling Wednesday? So I want to put this disclaimer and say this video is not meant to make you feel bad. It's not meant to make you feel like, oh, you always have to constantly be working on yourself like that, like you're a project or whatever. No. In this video, I am going to say it like it is. I'm not going to lie to you now and say I'm going to soften you up. Nope. I'm going to ruffle up a little bit of feathers there and there. But at the same time, I'm also taking into cognizance that, we need to be kind to ourselves. Let's jump in straight to the first point, or the first. You want to identify, what is it that is holding me back? What is it that is getting me into this laziness? What is it that is putting me in this productivity slump? What is it that is veering me off my goals and everything that I have set out to do for 2024? So how do you identify that? You need to start looking at your routine. Do you even have a routine? You need to start looking at the things that you have planned to do. Are the plans that you have made executable? Are they easy for you to execute? Because sometimes you might get overwhelmed in terms of, you may have decided to batch everything in January, and it tends to be a bit overwhelming, or you can roughly see that I don't think I'm going to achieve all 7 of these goals in January like I've planned out. Maybe you need to come up with a different plan, or just maybe emotionally you're not okay and you just need to work on yourself emotionally. Therefore, when you start thinking about your goals, you start feeling very overwhelmed. You start thinking that, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So you therefore need to sit down and reflect and see, what is it? Identify what is it that is actually holding me back. And sometimes it could also be the perfectionism paralysis. I used to struggle from that as well, or the planning paralysis, whereby you find yourself wanting to constantly plan and make sure that whenever you execute whatever goal that you want to do, it is perfect. Or before you actually do something, you want to plan it, like plan up until to the T. And the bad thing about always constantly wanting to plan, you might find yourself not actually executing anything because you are so caught up in finding the perfect way of doing the thing instead of actually just doing the thing. Because when you do the thing, you eventually get to see what works, what doesn't work, and so forth and so forth. And another thing that could also be standing in your way is just generally being in the right mindset, which brings me to the second point. You need to get yourself in a specific mindset. What does that mean? It essentially means that you need to establish your why. You need to figure out, why is it that I want to do XYZ? What is it that is pushing me? What is it that is driving me? Personally, I do what I do because my mom pushes me. The life that I want for myself pushes me. But essentially, you need to come up with your why. Your why could be your child. Your why could be the little girl that believed in her dreams, you know. I know also when I was in, was it high school, primary? I think primary, yes. When I was in primary school, I wasn't the hottest girl. Yes, I was a little bit pretty, but I wasn't the hottest girl and I was very shy. I had a terrible stage fright. So me sitting like this in front of a mic, hoying it, like doing it and giving it to people is just, oh my God, like little old me, or rather not little old me, but little me could have never imagined me not being shy. Could have never imagined me sitting in front of a camera and actually talking and being confident and being, you know, I'm not very articulate the way I would like to be, but I've made such a big improvement. I've made such, you know, I've come a long way. I still remember the very first time I posted my very first YouTube channel. By the way, I have another YouTube channel. It's called Hlobisile, I'm the Glow Boss. You can actually check it out. I'll link it down below as well. I still remember when I posted my first YouTube channel. My goodness, I was so nervous. I felt like I was going to pee on myself because in my head, I don't know why. I think in my head, I just thought that, you know, the very first video people are going to see will just jump straight to like 1,000 subscribers or like 500 views. So, which means that I'm putting myself out there. What if people don't like me? What if people think I'm ugly? Blah, 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 and all those things. But I decided, you know what? I want to do all those things that actually make me want to pee type thing. You know what I mean? Like where I could feel that, you know what? I am going to shit myself. Literally, excuse my French, but you know what I mean? So you need to have a very strong why. You need to establish your why. You need to get to a space where your why is strong enough that you don't even have to set an alarm, but you're just being pushed, man, by this fire that you have regarding whatever it is that, you know, your goals may be. And you also need to commit. You need to commit to your dreams. You need to commit to your goals. You need to commit to being disciplined. I know it's very hard to be disciplined. Child, some of us are still struggling with it. We're grappling and grappling with we're grappling with this discipline thing because it's not easy. But I hate the idea of always saying something, oh my God, it's not easy, oh my God, because sometimes that's you giving yourself a leeway of actually doing, you know, the wrong thing when you know you're not supposed to do it. But then you would kind of console yourself and say, oh, it's not easy, that's why I do what I do. No, snap out of it, grow up. And actually, I was listening to this other podcast, I don't remember her name, but she was just saying that sometimes you just need to grow up. Sometimes you just need to, you know, just go get it. You know, even if you don't feel like doing something, just do it, you know, because you said you were going to do it. And you are literally behaving like a child if you're not going to do what you said you're going to do. You're not going to be a woman of your word. You're not going to be the man of your word. You're not going to push the way that you said you're going to push. And how many times are you going to write down these goals every single year, and then by the end of every single year and the beginning of another, it's still the same goals, it's still the same thing, and you don't even reflect, you don't even look back, you're not even doing anything to discover why is it that I wasn't able to achieve those goals. So this year we are doing things differently. You just need to commit to your goals, commit to discipline, commit to your word. Yes, commit to your word, because sometimes we write things down, we say we're going to do certain things and we never actually do them. And the simplest thing that needs to be executed there is just discipline. And then another thing in terms of establishing, the right mindset for your goals and dreams, it is to get rid of the victim mentality. 90% of the time when things are also happening, or when you see yourself getting into this productivity slump, there's always something to blame. And with this victim mentality, you always try and find a reason. You always find something to pin it on and say, oh, I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z because I had to do X, Y, and Z, or this and that happened to me, therefore I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z. Quit that. This year, we are not doing that. You cannot go around living your life always thinking that you're the victim, always thinking that life is throwing things at you. That is why you're not able to achieve your goals. Hell no, it has to stop. At some point, something has got to give. What does that mean? You are not always the victim, because 90% of the time, there's a decision that you took that led to what actually happened to happen, which means you are a co-creator, which means that you are creating your life. And the decisions that you've taken have landed you into that victim place that you believe that you're in. And another thing, perspective is everything. Because again, you might think you're the victim, but then I'm sitting here, I might also think that, yeah, I see those things, but you had a decision that you could have not, taken that route, or you could have taken a different route, or you could, do you know what I'm saying? You could have done something different, and this and that could have never actually happened. So it's high time that you take responsibility and you account and you become honest with yourself, like truly honest with yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to be honest with yourself, you'll keep lying to yourself, and you're going to continue being lazy, and you're going to continue not actually doing what you said you will do. Can I get an amen? I feel this so deeply, like I feel this so strongly, because I used to be that girl who would actually say, yeah, this and that happened, yeah, I can't do this because this and that is going on, blah blah blah. You keep giving excuses to a point where you are unable to execute what you need to execute, because you continuously give excuses, continuously have something to blame. Sometimes you just need to be resourceful. Sometimes you just need to shut it down just for today. Tomorrow, wake up and try again until you actually get it, until you actually do what you gotta do. So this year, 2024, we are not victims. We take responsibility and we co-create the way we want our lives and everything to go our way possible, humanly possible. I love like a good routine. And let me tell you something, back in the days, I hated routines. And I hated them because I never really understood them. Because I'm a very, I want to say free-flowing individual. Like as a creative, that's one thing we struggle with, which is being boxed, or which is being like predictable and very military, if I may. The reason why maybe you are in a productivity slump or you're being lazy, it's because you do not have a routine. So try and create a routine. Why do you need a routine? You need structure. You need some level of knowing, when you wake up in the morning, what is it that I do? When you go to bed, what is it that I do before I actually go to bed? And I feel like that helps you to also have certain things that are non-negotiables. I can make an example. On my phone, I actually did write out a list, because one thing I've noticed is that when I wasn't doing certain things for my routine, I was doing certain things, and those other things would actually make me feel sad. They would make me feel bad. And I got this tip from Tam Kua or something like that. I forgot her, but she's a British YouTuber. And she said that, you just need to write out a list, like list the things that you are doing when you are in a good space, like when you are on top of the game, when you are productive. What does your routine look like? How do you feel? What is it that you do? Then also write out the things that you do when you are in a slump, or you're feeling horrible, or you're feeling bad, blah, 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 or you're feeling lazy, whatever the case is. And what that list has done for me is that every time I would find myself, because another thing, when it comes to this thing of not having a routine, you technically have a routine that is not structured, even though you don't have like a routine that is structured. What am I saying? I mean that it's like when you are not choosing, you are still choosing, because there's something that you're choosing even when you're not choosing. So same goes with this routine. Just you have a routine, but it's not a structured routine. It's not a conscious routine. For example, let's say you are that person who wakes up very late, or you wake up late in terms of you always, in a hurry, and you always feeling a bit anxious, and it's like, you're rushing every morning. That is a routine, because it means that you used to snore, I almost said snoring. You used to snoozing your alarm, or you used to actually maybe staying in bed, scrolling on your phone, and actually getting up when it's like little over 20 minutes late for you to actually go and bath. You know what I mean? So that would be your routine. Maybe you're also used to coming back from work. Instead of going to the gym, you just go and watch TV. Or instead of going to the gym, you just laze around. You just don't want to go there. That is a routine again, because 90% of the time, those are the things that you continuously do every single day. And sometimes you do them without paying attention. So what you need to do now is to consciously create a routine that works for you, a routine that is of benefit for you, because you don't want to be running on default or on autopilot, because those are the things that actually result to you actually falling off your goals and not being in alignment with whatever it is that you had planned out for the year 2024. With regards to having a routine, it reduces decision fatigue. Another thing that I used to also struggle with, so coming up with a routine saves you from all those decisions that you need to make, because already in your life, you're making a lot of decisions. Don't be out here listening to, different people's ideas of what a routine looks like, blah, blah, blah. Just use other people's routines as inspiration for you, because at the end of the day, everybody else probably does what works for her, and it may not work for you. For example, I'm a night owl. I enjoy working in the early hours of the morning, which is like from 2 a.m. until like 4 a.m. And then I struggle with actually focusing or working on anything admin related during the day. A routine for yourself in order for you not to be thinking way too much on what you need. For our fifth point, it will have to be time management techniques. First of all, I'm not sure what I am about to mention does fall under time management techniques, but it has definitely worked for me in terms of managing my time and also making sure that I'm doing the right things at the right time. So there's something called cycle syncing. Essentially, when it comes to cycle syncing as a woman, it's mostly applicable to us women. Yes. So what you do when it comes to cycle syncing is that you would actually monitor your cycle in order for you to be able to schedule your month or your week or whatever the case is according to how your cycle is. So let's say, for example, in terms of exercise, I know for a fact personally that when I am on my first 2 days of my menstrual cycle, Flo is in town. I don't want to do a lot of heavy lifting. I don't want to work hard. Like, I don't want to do any tasks that are really demanding. 1, because of the cramping. 2, because I just have low energy. And practically and physiologically, it makes sense because your body is literally going through the most. So what that therefore kind of tells you is that you as a woman are functioning based on your cycle, or in order for you to function optimally, you need to be in flow. You need to be in flow with your cycle. So I noticed personally that if I schedule like my workouts based on my cycle, I don't actually have the problem of being inconsistent. Same goes with the filming of my content, as well as the scripting of my content and all that, because there's certain phases of your menstrual cycle where you are more reflective, like your reflective side of things is more in tune, and it's more aligned, and it's in flow. And then on other phases of your cycle, your more creative side is more alert, it's more alive, and it's just, you know what I mean, you keep getting ideas over again. So you may want to actually schedule your month, schedule your days based on your cycle. Then that will help you to also eliminate the whole thing of, you know, feeling tired or wanting to do something in terms of your emotions. You have the will, you are motivated, but only to find out that your body is not cooperating. And then that's one thing that used to also it used to bother me a lot, because I would find myself wanting to do this stuff, but then I'm on my second day of my period and I feel like shit and I don't want to do it, you know, but in my mind I wanted to do it. So it was difficult, and I would find it very hard to understand that why is it that certain times I would make plans, maybe like the first 2 weeks of the month I was in it, and then by the time when now my period is about to come, I'm like down and under. It's because the flow of my body, the flow of my cycle is not in tune with my schedule. So as a woman, if you want to be productive and actually get things done, you need to do cycle syncing. It will save your life in terms of your tasks, in terms of your habits, and everything that you need to do. For me personally, it has changed my life, because now I know when I should be out there, when I should be creating, when I should be coming up with ideas, when should I be reflective, and when should I do, you know, like less demanding work. And it has worked wonders. So another time management technique that you can also use, it is to time block. So essentially, when I time block, I would usually use my calendar, whereby I would literally account for every hour of my day, record. Let's say, for example, just like today I'm filming, I know that I usually film for around about 3 hours, and in that 3 hours I get to do 2 videos. So I literally would put the 3 hours for filming. I would put, you know, my time for exercising, my time for lunch, my time for reading my book, my time for going to bed, my time for doing my face, my time for bathing, and all that. So you want to actually time block. Well, not exactly like me. It could absolutely be up to you, but you want to practice the whole time blocking thing, just making sure that you are accounting for every single, you know, hour, a minute. Obviously, I'm not saying go overboard now, you know, you are not flexible, you can't do certain things because this is my time for me to do X, Y, Z. You don't want to be that person, but you need to be flexible. But the whole gist of it is that try to block out time for certain things. Try to block out time for days when you know that you're not going to be available. That helps you to know how much time you have in terms of wanting to be productive, in terms of wanting to do certain things, or to just, you know, laze around if you want to laze around, or if you're not feeling well, you know how much time you essentially have. Another thing, or rather another tip that you may want to practice, it is to, you know, practice self-compassion. You want to be compassionate towards yourself. In as much as you want to do all these things, you have all these goals and you're very passionate about your goals, and you want to go after your goals, attract your goals, you name it, all kinds of things. You still want to be compassionate. You still want to, you know, um be kind to yourself. You still want to have those soft days. As I mentioned, that as women, we go through our period days, and 90% of the time, most of us are not feeling our best. So you do not want to be pushing yourself even when you know that you need the break. Even when you know that you're feeling a bit burnt out, it is okay for you to take a break when you need a break. It is okay for you to sleep around. Well, not sleep around, but sleep. So why are you leaving me right now? English. Oh my God. It is okay for you to sleep in. Yes. It is okay for you to sleep in when you actually need the break. It is okay for you to scroll when you really want to scroll. Like, just give yourself a bit of leeway. Give yourself a bit of compassion. Don't be too hard on yourself, and don't compare yourself to other people. Your journey is your journey. If you're gonna have one bad day, it doesn't mean that your whole life is bad now and you're gonna throw the whole plan away. Also, focus on progress over perfection. At the end of the day, sometimes when you're looking for the perfect moments, you'll never find them. But if you're looking for progress, you will definitely find something. Lastly, you need to practice to reward yourself. So if you complete a task, or if you have done something that you said you will do, and you maybe had a really good week or you had a really good day, reward yourself. So your reward could literally be anything. For example, in my case, every time, just like today, if I have filmed the amount of videos that I said I was going to film, I did what I said I would do, I've ticked everything on my to-do list, I am definitely going to watch a series before I go to bed, because I genuinely enjoy watching series. It could be Glamour Girl, is it Gilmore Girls? I think, yeah, Gilmore Girls, or it could be Gossip Girl, or it could be any other crime whatsoever series, because I enjoy that, and I try not to watch those, especially if I want to have a productive week. Then as soon as I have a productive day and I just feel like I did the most, maybe this week or that particular day, I reward myself with that. Sometimes I reward myself with food, sometimes I reward myself with, some self-care, whatever it is that I feel like I want to reward myself with for the good work that I have done. And I also want to actually earn my whole binge watching a particular series, because I know that I've worked so hard throughout the day. Now I'm about to go to bed. It will be really nice for me to watch this particular series. So practice that in order for you not to feel like you are a project, in order for you not to feel like you constantly have to work and you're just over it. When you reward yourself, your brain automatically signals, or it automatically feels like, oh wow, so if we do good, if we do XYZ, we get to do XYZ. So you are literally reprogramming your mind, you're literally tricking your mind and brainwashing yourself into being happy to be productive, because you know that you have a reward at the end. We all love a good reward, right? Ain't it? Yeah. So that brings me to the end of my tips. I hope they were very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this from YouTube. And if you're listening to this from Spotify, don't forget to also subscribe and be part of our community. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you guys. And do comment down below. What is it that you think is also, holding us back in terms of, getting out of our habits, or actually not holding our plans and goals through until the end of the year? What causes us to fall off? And what can we do in order for us not to actually fall off? Anything that I didn't mention that could possibly help us, do comment down below. I would really, really like to hear what you guys have to say about all those things. So I hope you guys have amazing goals for 2024, and you're going to work hard and you're going to achieve them, and you're going to reward yourself. I am literally looking forward to hearing all the amazing stories. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, and from me to you, with love, take care, and yeah, goodbye. See you next time. Bye.